guys, welcome to another episode of Zach's Credit Card Guide. We've got a couple cool stories to talk about this week, so let's not waste any time and get right into it. First story I want to talk about is just my recent experience flying since all of the drama started. I haven't really taken any trips since early March when this all started. If you remember my video where I said I was going on a cruise, we did that like right when everything was kicking off, and we haven't really traveled since then. Well, about a week and a half ago, I took a weekend trip back to DC for an event, and I flew Southwest because I still have a ton of Southwest points and the companion pass, so I took Southwest out there, and it was a pretty decent experience. They limited the boarding lines. Normally it's 30 people at a time. They limit it to 10 people at a time, so you're not all stacked right against each other at the terminal. And then all of the middle seats were open, and on one of our legs it was even better than that. Like, you had your own row in a lot of cases. And Southwest is doing a lot of cool stuff according to their website, where they purge all of the air from the aircraft every couple minutes and recycle the air with fresh air from outside. So that's pretty cool too. And I haven't gotten sick, and I was on 4 different planes. So it was a pretty good experience. If you are going to fly, I would recommend bringing like some antibacterial wipes or something and just wiping down your seat, your tray table and everything. But it was a pretty good experience. Second story I wanted to talk about is the newest card to my wallet. Now, I do recommend being very strategic and cautious right now if you are going to apply for new cards, but I got under 524 in August, and I wanted to add another card so I can keep my game going. So I decided to apply for the World of Hyatt card with Chase. It's kind of the last card with Chase that I really want. All of the other ones are kind of like, it'd be good for a bonus, but I don't want to necessarily keep them long term. So this is the last one that I really want to get and hold on to. Now, this is my 9th card with Chase, which is quite a few, and I was a little bit nervous because I don't know how many their limit is, but I have read data points that people have as many as 12 Chase cards. So I do recommend doing what I do. It's been working for me, and the most important thing is lowering your limits on the cards, especially the ones that you don't use very often. Proactively lower those limits, especially if you are going to apply for cards now, because the banks are a little bit more risk adverse just because of the economy and everything else. So I have lowered my limits on all of my cards to something very modest, but still more than enough, and I have had instant approvals in every case. Now, just as a quick reminder, if you haven't looked into the Hyatt card, it is one that I've had my eye on for quite a while, and I am excited that I was able to pick it up. Right now, the bonus is 50,000 points after spending $6,000 in 6 months. So that should be pretty reasonable for most people to hit. And because Hyatt award nights start at such a reasonable 5,000 points for kind of their lowest tier, that could be up to 10 free nights in a hotel. It comes with some basic status that doesn't really do a whole lot for you. You get like late checkout, maybe a slight room upgrade, some really basic stuff. And it's a keeper card because even though it has a $95 annual fee, if you know that you're going to use a hotel room at some point during the year, there you go. You're basically paying $95 for a hotel room at some point. And because they're good for up to Category 4 hotels, you're pretty much guaranteed to at least break even, but probably get some additional value on top of that. And then when you add the basic status and stuff like that, it becomes pretty easy to justify hanging on to it. But if you did want to get it for the bonus and close it later, you could. I don't really recommend doing that if you can help it, but if you needed to, you could. And there is a lower tier card that you could product change to. It still has an annual fee, but you don't get the free award night or anything, so it may not be the optimal way to go. But if you do want to check out the Hyatt card, I've got my link down in the description for you. It is an affiliate link, so it does help me out if you decide to use it, but it is a pretty good card worth looking into. And last, our headline topic this week is we're talking about the new Freedom Flex card that's coming out from Chase. And there are some additional changes to the Freedom Unlimited. So these are really interesting, so we're going to run through kind of a high-level view of what's coming out on this card. So first, we'll talk about the earning categories, and this is really interesting for a no annual fee card that again is replacing the Chase Freedom, which by itself is a pretty basic card. It really only has 5 times rotating categories, and if those categories aren't what you're looking for that quarter, you may not use it at all. It's rarely in my wallet just because usually the rotating categories just aren't that interesting. But the new Freedom Flex card has the same 5 times rotating categories that we already know from the Freedom, with some additional ones. So the 3 interesting categories are 5 times back on travel booked through Chase's portal, which is run by Expedia. That's basically what you're doing when you book through there. So there might be some good deals on there, but you still want to shop around. But if you decide to book through the portal, you'll get 5 times back. You'll also get 3 times back on dining, exactly the same as the Sapphire Reserve, and 3 times back at drugstores, and then 1 times on everything else. So this could easily be put into your daily driver wallet. What's interesting is that it's 3 times on dining, the same as the Sapphire Reserve, which that elevated bonus category is one of those things that kind of helps sell it, especially with that higher annual fee that as of right now is going to kick back up to $550 next year. I haven't heard anything different. So the elevated bonus categories on there is one of those things that maybe helps justify it. So it'll be interesting to see if Chase is now planning on any revamps to the Sapphire line. There's none that I've heard of yet, but it's kind of interesting that now they're adding this 3 times dining to a no annual fee, pretty basic card. Now looking at their website, it does appear that this will integrate with the other Chase UR cards. If you have multiple of these cards, you'll know by now that you can combine all of your points with them. So for instance, I pay my cell phone bill with the Chase Ink Cash, one of the business cards, because I get 5 times back there. Well, I transfer all of my points to the Sapphire Reserve because that's where I get the 50% back if I'm booking through the portal, or from there I can transfer out to partners if I want. So the couple bills or the times that I use these other cards, like my Freedom Unlimited or again the Ink Cash or something like that, I at the end of the month combine all of those points into my Sapphire Reserve. And it does appear by looking at Chase's website that that will be possible with this new card as well. Now something else that's interesting is those bonus categories that we talked about are being added to the Freedom Unlimited. So the 5 times back on the Chase portal, 3 times on dining and drugstores are also being added to the Freedom Unlimited, which on a side note might be kind of interesting for me because if you remember the video I did a few months ago, I worked with Lion Credit Card on looking at their custom credit card options, and I got the 24 karat metal card, which is a whopping 27 grams. It's an enormous card, and it has this metal clunk when you slam it down. And it's just kind of a fun card to show off with, especially when I'm talking points with friends, like at happy hour or something like that. But I don't use it on dining or anything like that because I used my Freedom Unlimited. My thought process was I already have the Sapphire Reserve, which is a cool card by itself, so I wanted to use like my everyday daily driver card for that one. But now that has 3 times dining too, so maybe I can use that at restaurants too now. But it is a pretty obnoxious card. But anyway, if you want to check that video, I'll throw a card up here for you so you can look at it. But anyway, some really cool bonus categories on these basic no annual fee cards. Now the other really interesting change is that this is now a World Elite Mastercard, not a Visa like the rest of the UR cards. Now, when it has the World Elite Mastercard logo, that means it comes with some certain benefits from Mastercard. Now, a couple of the more interesting ones are cell phone insurance. This gives you $800 per occurrence as an upper limit against like theft, damage, things like that, and then up to $1,000 per year. And what you have to do to get those benefits is pay your monthly credit card bill with that card. So depending on what card you're using to pay your cell phone bill, you'll just have to decide if that's worth it and what you value more. Again, for instance, I use the Ink Cash on my cell phone bill because I get 5 times points. This, using the Freedom Flex, I would only get 1 times. So I'd be giving up 4 points per dollar, UR points that are pretty valuable, if I wanted that cell phone insurance that's only good for up to $800 per time. So if you have like a new flagship phone, that's not even going to cover everything if it gets totally damaged or stolen. So just something to keep in mind. You'll have to kind of weigh the opportunity cost and decide which you value more. You'll also get a Shop Runner membership. If you haven't heard of this before, certain websites and stores and everything, they'll partner with this Shop Runner service, and it gets you 2-day shipping. So you may see it at like Walmart or Macy's. I don't know if they partner with them, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's like those kind of websites, when you check out, you may see the Shop Runner logo and you may be able to get 2-day shipping if you have that membership. And this card comes with that, like all World Elite MasterCards. And you'll also get $10 in Lyft credit after you take 5 rides in a month, and that can happen 1 time per month. So if you're in one of those cities where you don't have a car and you just rely on Lyft, you could get $10 back each month after taking 5 rides, which is pretty cool, especially on a no annual fee card. And then speaking of Lyft, like the other Freedom and the Freedom Unlimited, it will get 5 times points on Lyft rides through March of 2022, and it does come with a trial membership of Dash Pass. Now, one thing to keep in mind if you are interested in this card, and I would recommend picking it up because it is a pretty super powered no annual fee card. This could be part of the new trifecta with Chase, since the Freedom is kind of going under the table now. So if you already have the Chase Freedom, they're not going to let you apply for the Freedom Flex. So you'll have a decision to make, and here's what I would recommend doing. You don't want to cancel no annual fee cards if you can ever help it, because longevity is a major part of your credit score and your average age of accounts. So you want to keep no annual fee cards open if at all possible. So what I would recommend doing is, first, if you're going to apply for the Freedom Flex, here's kind of what you have to do. First, lower that limit because you're not going to use it anymore. So lower the limit to something like $1,000 and then product change it to a Freedom Unlimited. Now, if you don't already have a Freedom Unlimited, maybe keep the limit a little bit higher, but now you have one, right? So you've opened up that slot. Now apply for the Freedom Flex. That's what I would recommend doing. That's kind of the best way to do it. If you already have a Freedom Unlimited, that's when you could just lower that limit to like $1,000 and just product change it to a second Freedom Unlimited, and then just throw it in a sock drawer and forget about it and don't use it. That's what I would recommend doing. It keeps that account open and will have a more positive impact on your credit score. So that's kind of the high level view. We'll talk about it more when it launches if there's any additional details to look at. There might be some surprises that Chase has, so make sure you're subscribed if you want to see that. But those are the 3 topics we've got this week, guys. My question for you is, what do you think about the Freedom Flex? What changes do you think they should make to the Sapphire Reserve to make that worth it? What would you do if you could tell Chase anything? Let everybody know down below. If you guys have any other comments or questions, please do leave them down below. I try to get to every single one. If you'd like to get in touch, here's my social media links, which you can find down in the description as well. And last, before we go, guys, if you enjoy straightforward, to the point content like this, where we talk about how to maximize your credit card rewards, please make sure to leave the video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Pretty easy and free ways to help support the channel. That's all I've got for you this time, guys. See you at the next one. Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure to drop a comment down below and give the video a thumbs up. Here's some other videos that I think you'll really like. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos, and I'm on Facebook and Twitter as well. See you at the next one.